Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Mowgli, one of my dogs. Mowgli's 14, probably. So, got him from a shelter a number of years ago. He's been such a good boy. You should do a good boy. You're a good boy. Love you, buddy. Anyway, keeps my sanity. These beautiful four-legged creatures that God has given us. Okay, actually, I gotta take my coat off for this one. Okay, here we go. So let me see if I've got this right. According to Christian nationalists, the evangelical church ought to have control over America and run the government strictly by Christian principles. Why then are these same people, just thinking here, why are they unwilling to follow the clear teaching of Jesus Christ? Why can these biblical literalists not comprehend the unequivocal words of Jesus, who said, when you feed the hungry, you feed me? Why do these individuals, these same biblical literalists, see all the references to bread in the Gospels as somehow metaphors all of a sudden? Jesus talked a whole lot more about greed than he did about sex and marriage and doctrinal purity or beating immigrants into submission. Jesus talked a lot more about food and free banquets and bigger tables than about building golden ballrooms for the elite. Once again, the problem with white Christian nationalism, as embodied by American evangelicals today, is that they have thrown Jesus overboard. I've heard from some of you who were shocked at reading a headline on a news story just yesterday. And the headline was, "Focus on the Family," that James Dobson movement opposes free meals in schools. It's all about the taxes. When our taxes going, really? You want your taxes to go towards all the missiles and the defense, and I get it. Let the kids go hungry. But that's a real headline on a real story expressing the real sentiment of evangelicals who can't be bothered to do something Jesus clearly taught us to do. I feed the children. And to double down on the hypocrisy, Focus on the Family opposes expanding free breakfast and lunch for hungry school children because they fear, get this, they fear Big Brother encroaching on family life. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those, men and women in the cafeteria, handing out the food. They're gonna be watching you. I'm trying to stick with clean words here. But really, are they serious? Is Focus on the Family really serious about this? The very organization that wants to impose Big Brother-like control over everyone else's sex lives, family lives, political lives, and school libraries is suddenly concerned about the lunch ladies being agents of Big Brother. Words fail. As I've shared before, hypocrisy is a hallmark of MAGA evangelicalism. Our current debate over funding SNAP benefits for hungry families proves that point once again. Do you know anyone right now who's getting help from SNAP? I do. I know ministers who feed their families with food stamps. I know hard-working people who sacrifice their own health to be sure their children get enough to eat with government assistance, in addition to visiting food banks and church pantries. I have friends who are alive today because of school lunches and food stamps. The argument from some conservatives is that they do believe in feeding the hungry. At least some of the hungry that they deem worthy. but they don't think it's the role of government. If that is the case, then stop claiming that America is a Christian nation. Okay? You can't have it both ways. A Christian nation would feed everyone who's hungry. That is the indisputable way of Christ. But if you agree we are not a Christian nation, because we're not, you might reasonably say feeding the hungry is the role of the church. I see three fat problems with that. Okay. Most churches care more about the comfortable seating in their sanctuaries or their performance arenas these days. More comfortable, caring more about the seating than feeding the hungry. So the financial and personnel resources are not there. The task is monumentally bigger than most churches could handle, even if they tried, feeding the hungry, right? Most folks I know who complain their tax dollars are being misused by feeding the hungry don't give a tithe to their church. They're just stingy at heart. While America was not founded as a Christian nation, we were founded as a nation inspired and infused with Christian principles. Absolutely. Namely, principles that are also the hallmarks of other world religions. Name me a major world religion that does not advocate for feeding the hungry. This ideal transcends religious boundaries, okay? Because it is a moral imperative that is woven into creation. Mr. Trump, refusing to release rainy day funds to feed hungry Americans while he throws lavish parties at Mar-a-Lago and gilds a White House bathroom, has nothing to do with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Once again, his position and his actions are anti-Christ. This all fits the pattern of MAGA cruelty, but it is such a glaring example. Even a child can see it. The President of the United States is using, get this, he is using hunger as a political weapon, just like his friend Benjamin Netanyahu has been doing in Gaza. Two peas in a pod. Yes, give to your local food bank. Open a church food pantry. Yes, share your resources any way you can. But at the same time, especially if you're a Republican, because your elected officials might listen to you, get on the phone and call your senator and representative. Remind them that there is nothing Christ-like in withholding food from anyone. Remind them that they are accountable to God and to you and their constituent. Feeding hungry people is not a waste of taxpayer dollars. And it shouldn't be a partisan issue either. This is a moral issue that is being manipulated right now by immoral people. And it will take the masses reacting to stop those in power who right now, let's face it, they are acting like asses. Take care. God bless you. Love you.